Well, it is officially Election Day in Kansas and Missouri, all across the country. There aren't a lot of races necessarily that local voters are weighing decisions on, but they could shape communities for years to come.
And that's why we're going to be spending more time talking about this election this morning. And we have team coverage in Kansas and Missouri to get you ready before you head out to the polls this morning. Let's start with KSHB 41 News reporter Claire Bradshaw outside a polling place in Independence, where polls just open in the last 2 to 3 minutes. Claire, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. We're here live at the Midwest Genealogy Center. This is a voting precinct here in the Independence area. What we know is that at least 4 people have already gone through the doors right at 6 a.m. when they open. So there's some information going up on your screen right now if you plan to vote on the Missouri side today. Polls are open now until 7 p.m. tonight. You need to take that valid government-issued photo ID with you. It can't be an expired driver's license or anything like that. It has to be valid to use normally. And you also need to vote at your assigned voting precinct. You can find that out through either Election Board Jackson County or Kansas City about where you need to vote today. Just go to their website. So we did reach out to the Jackson County Election Board because that's where we're having the most ballot measures on the ballot today. They said they have seen around 3,500 early voters. That's the absentee voters. So whether they did the no excuse early in-person absentee or they did military mail-in ballots, anything like that, just 3,500. So they told us they're expecting a pretty low turnout for today's election. When we check back in with you again, we'll be inside giving you a live look at this polling location here in Independence. Back to you.
All right, Claire, thank you very much. Remember that Claire is KSHB 41's Jackson County reporter. She tells stories that impact the county all the time. So if you have a story you'd like her to know about, you can scan the QR code that we're going to put up on our screen hopefully soon and connect to her directly, or you can email her too and let her know what's going on in Jackson County.
That's right.
Now, the reason that Claire is there this morning is in Independence because one of the biggest issues on the ballot there is the school district there moving forward, because voters are being asked to decide whether they want to keep that 4-day school week for the next 10 years. A May 2024 law in Missouri requires districts of more than 30,000 to put a calendar change from a 5-day to 4-day week up to a public vote. The district originally made the calendar move 3 years ago to, at the time they told us, attract and retain high quality staff. Now, if the ballot measure does not pass, the district will transition back to a 5-day week next school year. They're in year 3 of doing 4 days this year.
And Jackson County voters will also decide if the assessor will become an elected official. Currently, Gail McCann Beatty holds that position, which is appointed by the county executive. And this position has come under major scrutiny over high property taxes the last few years, which contributed to former executive Frank White's recall. If this passes, the county would vote on a new assessor in 2028. And in Kansas, polls open in less than an hour, coming up at 7 a.m.
KSHB 41 News reporter Olivia Acree live for us this morning at Corinth Library in Prairie Village with one of the issues that the county's voting on there. There are a couple of big items on the ballot in Johnson County this morning, Olivia.
Yeah, we're following a couple things. So some of the biggest races in Johnson County, one is in Overland Park. Mayor Kurt Skoog is seeking re-election against former city council member Faris Farasati. And then here in Prairie Village, there's the question about whether or not to abandon the current mayor-council form of government. So we've been following this since 2023 when a petition got enough signatures, and then late this year a judge upheld that petition and this question landed on the ballot. Residents voting yes say the current system isn't working. They point to higher taxes, rising tensions over housing, and frustration with city leadership, while opponents argue the city is functioning well and that abandoning the structure would create confusion and instability. If this passes, the current form of government would stay in place until something new is proposed and passed. And residents have some mixed opinions.
I think the governmental is like saying, do we want to get rid of democracy?
There's been such vitriol in our city these last 5 years, pitting neighbor against neighbor. That didn't happen overnight.
So in Overland Park, Mayor Kurt Skoog is seeking re-election. He's touting growth and redevelopment along Metcalf and downtown as his biggest projects. But challenger Faris Farasati says Skoog's development strategy favors developers and raises taxes. So the polls throughout Johnson County, they open in about an hour, and they'll be open from 7 to 7 today. If you would like to mail in a ballot, it's not too late. That just needs to be postmarked by 7 tonight and received by Friday to get that counted. Back to you guys.
All right, Olivia Acree live for us this morning. Olivia, thank you very much. And remember that Olivia covers stories across Johnson County as well. You can reach out to her directly if you'd like to know about, or let her know about other stories going on in the county.